and welcome to my channel. My name is Sabrina Amofa, and on this channel we talk about property, mindset and money. Now in today's video I am going to answer the most common asked question, which is, how do I invest in property with no money? How do I get started with no money? Now I've answered a very good question about how to find the money, and you can see that in this video here when I tell you all about ways you can find money. But in this video you want to actually get started investing without money. So now let's look at how you can do that. I will see you in a short while. Bye. If you want to invest in property starting with no money, then you need to be prepared to work hard and be strong and have some real resilience, because boy, it is not going to be easy. But let me tell you this. There are ways you can get started without any money and still achieve your goals. Now, I'm not saying this is going to be a short get rich quick thing. It is so far from that. But these are some out of the box thinking type of things that I would do if I was in a situation where I really wanted to get started in property. I don't really have much money to spend, but I do want to have some money coming in. Now, this is going to add to whatever you've got coming in right away, and or it's just going to have you thinking outside of the box. So let's get straight to it. The first one is get a lodger. Now you can earn up to £7,500 in income a year without you being taxed on that income, and that's quite a bit of money. Now if you are on benefits or getting some kind of support, it may affect that, but if not, then you are all set. Now think about it. If you are a single person, maybe you're a student and you've got a room, you can consider getting a bigger property, renting out those rooms, and then your accommodation will be paid for, because all the rent that you're charging, once it's all accumulated to one big amount that's coming in, you sort out the bills, and then hey, you're living for free. But what the aim or the goal would be with that scenario is that you want to be earning enough money coming in that you can at least put some money aside as well. Otherwise it will not be worth it. So this does work for a property that you have the sole contract for. So if you maybe a mother or parent or whoever you are, I always like to be very specific. Whoever you are, you can go and get your own property, rent it, or if you live in a property, you have your own home, then you can actually rent out a room or two, have that income coming in, and then you will not be taxed, which is fantastic. So it can be uncomfortable, but there's always a long-term goal with these type of things. So it's a short-term inconvenience for a long-term goal that you can achieve. So something to consider if you haven't already. Another thing you can do to earn some money through property without spending a penny is actually getting a career in property. You could become a letting agent, an estate agent, a project manager, an administrator, an EA, which is not an executive assistant, but you can become an assistant for a developer of some sort, because there's a lot of developers who are one-man bands, they're two-man bands, they're even three-man bands, and you can get a job working with them and really get some hands-on knowledge and experience with these people, and then go away and do it yourself one day. And this is something I was considering when I moved here to Wales. I thought, right, I want to know Wales like the back of my hands, and I really want to find people to work with, but just the idea of working for someone just was like, it was a big challenge for me, because I'd already been working for myself all this time. I'm not gonna lie, it was a bit of a challenge just even thinking about it, so I didn't even go down that route, which is fine. I ended up making a lot of contacts with developers anyway, because I was already in the networking scene. But it's something to consider if you want to earn some money in property. Go and get a career in property, get hands-on experience, hands-on knowledge. The beautiful thing about this is that they're going to have you thinking in ways that's all about the financial returns of an investment. If you've got the right job, actually, because there's some agents who really don't know what they're talking about. They're in it for the commission. You don't really gain anything, and it's just employment. 9 to 5, you've got to work weekends with estate agents and letting agents, which is fine, particularly if you're, if your schedule allows for that type of thing, or your responsibilities allow for that type of thing. But I think getting a career in property where you can get hands-on experience is the best. I mean, it's like having your own mentor and you're getting paid for the experience. So it's something to consider. As well as that, you can build up your contacts. So it might not just be with the people who you're working with, but also people who you get to meet on a daily basis. And that is another reason I really like property, because you get to meet so many interesting people coming from different walks of life. And you know, I've met Asian people who are just full-time developers when I'm looking at huge, I won't say huge at all, just houses that you convert to flats, you know, meeting these Asians, and the way how they do business is so different to, say, the Caucasians, and the way how they do business is so different to black people, Africans, Jamaicans, right? So it's so lovely to meet a wide range of cultures, of people from different professions as well, because they also come with their different idea of things, and it's so wonderful to meet such a mix of people. So this is another reason why working frontline in the industry allows you to get some amazing experience and great education, as well as an amazing network, so you can build your power team. With estate agents, they tend to have a book of professionals that they use, which from an investor's perspective, we would call a power team, and they would have the surveyors, they would have the architects, they would have the designs, they would have the contractors, they would have the accountants, they'll have, you know, all those little team members that you need, they would have. If you're new to this investing and you don't know what your power team is or what it's made up of, I've done a video on that here. Check it out. It's so good, very, very detailed, and it's going to help you to understand who you need on your team in order for you to get started in property and work smooth and efficiently. I think I even mentioned how you can even find these people, so check that video out. The third thing that you can do to make money in property, starting with no money, is find a joint venture partner where you put in all the time. Educate yourself first though. This is very important. You need to educate yourself first before I even say this third one, because I know it's something I say in quite a lot of my videos. It's a very common practice for people to team together, for people to joint venture together. That's what a joint venture is. You're teaming up with someone, and usually both of you are bringing different things to the team. But if you're not, you could be bringing the same thing. That's absolutely fine. My first ever joint venture, which was a partnership between 3 people, we all equally put in money and expertise. But then in saying that, the expertise was, we did put in expertise because we all got training. We all took the same course and we all spent the same money, and we all spent the same money to put into the property to attain the houses. But to be fair, these guys were so much more experienced than me. They had like 10 years, 15 years in property. They had like 10 properties each. One had 11 or 12, something like that, and they were a lot more experienced than me, to be honest. But when it came to this strategy, they had no idea what they were doing. So it was a fantastic partnership, and this is something you can consider doing yourself. Getting started in property can be challenging, and now you want to start with no money. Well, if you're starting from a position of no money, then you've got to educate yourself in a certain topic and go and find someone who wants to do the same thing, but they ain't got no time, honey, because this is what you'll be bringing to the table: time and expertise. Now, maybe not expertise, but know-how. Okay, so that is something you can consider doing. Something I heavily consider that, something that I heavily suggest that you do. It's a really great way to get started if you have no money. Now, if you're wondering, where do I find a joint venture partner? Network. A networking event. Now, I have done a video on networking. This is one of my earlier videos, one of my startup videos. But I've done a video on networking, and it's a fantastic video, because it talks about what you should do once you've networked and you need to follow up afterwards. Because there's no point in networking if you're not going to follow up. There's no point in going out, meeting people, telling them what you're doing, telling them what you're looking to do or what your goals are, and then you exchange contact details and then you never speak to them again. That was time wasted for you and for them. So if you really want to use your time efficiently and you really do want to get started in property, spending no money, you need to go and network. Build your network, because your network is your net worth. It's not about what you know sometimes. It's about who you know a lot of the time, okay? So go ahead, find networking events in your area. Go on Google and put in property events in, okay, property networking events in, and put your location. Some will come up, and then you go and book yourself on. Some of them are free, some of them will cost you nothing. So that's really getting started with no money. There is no excuse, honey, because I don't give you the free whole thing. You not only can you network for nothing, but then you can go, I'm trying to tell you, I just hope you're listening. So that is something you can consider doing. And that's what I did to find these same 3 guys. Is I went to a networking event. I was having absolutely I was failing left, right and center, but I still continued to network because I knew what I wanted to do. And then at one of these networking events, I met these 2 guys. Both of them so happened to be in the location that I lived in, and I thought, well, wow, look at that. And then we were talking about this strategy, rent to rent, and then I thought, well, yeah, I've heard of that. I don't know too much. They didn't know too much. It was at one of the popular networking events in London, and we said, look, why don't we just go for have a coffee afterwards? Let's go for a coffee and talk about this, this strategy that no one really does. None of us had done at the time. No one does. A lot of people were doing it, but no one actually does that between us, and see about what our goals are. You don't say that, but go see what our goals are. But that was what my thing. Well, let me see what they're looking to do long term and see if that works with what I want to do long term. And when I did that, it was a match made in heaven. Well, maybe not a match made in heaven. That would be more like a husband level. It was a fantastic match. So we ended up going into business together, and it worked out really well. So, oh my goodness, I'm trying to not say so. How about somebody count how many times I'm saying so and put it at the bottom? I need to know. This is what they do when you go to these networking events. I used to go to these speaking things, Toastmasters, which I haven't even seen for ages. But Toastmasters, they count how many times you say so, all that gap filling type of language. Please bear with me. I'm gonna slow down my conversation with you, and I bet you I don't use that word again. Make sure you watch this video all the way to the end, and if you like it, be sure to like, be sure to join the community and consider subscribing, and also hit that notifications bell. Another way to purchase property with no money is to actually do something where you do a delayed completion or a lease option. Now this may cost you about £1, because in order to have a contract you need to have some form of value exchange on both sides. But I've done one for a client. What that process was is you go into the homeowner who needs to sell. They're fairly desperate for one reason or another. It could be the property was on the market for a very long time, as it was in this case. And what happened is they really wanted to sell. No one was showing interest, and to be fair, I think it was on the market for quite a high amount, and them being the landlord, they were insistent on that price. So what we decided to do is say, look, we'll give you that price, but over a period of time. So first of all, let us get in the house. Let me get the keys. Let me fix up the house, make it look all presentable. Once I've got a tenant in and seen a good steady flow of rental income, then I will start paying you. Now, these are contracts that are enforceable in court. So once you sign on that dotted line, you truly are responsible. So this isn't the thing where you can just go get round on someone. Solicitors draw up these contracts, they sign, you sign the contracts, they sign the contracts, and it's real. Okay, now that's something you can do to get started in property with no money. Where do you find these guys? Through agents. You find them through agents, you find them on Gumtree, you find them on Overrent. I'm telling you all the little techniques back there. You just got to get in the eyes of homeowners who want to sell. Think about where you would go if you were desperate to sell a house and ain't nothing selling. If you got a letter on your door, if you got a leaflet on your doorstep, you'd pick up that leaflet and call it. So you might want to consider dropping some leaflets. And if you want to know what that looks like, I've done a video about that here, really detailed, quite entertaining, and check it out. There are other organizations who can help you do leafleting as well. But this is something you can do to get started in property using none of your own money and get some good results. Like I said though, this is not a get rich quick scheme. This stuff takes time. This takes you looking at 100 properties. This may take 3-4 months, and I don't say that to put you off. I say that for you to be realistic about your expectations. Don't be desperate. Keep yourself in the driving seat and go out and achieve your goals. So that was some good information, right? Now, It's all about the mindset. It's all about making that decision, the power of now, deciding that yes, I'm going to invest in property despite whether I have money or not. So if you're starting without money, it's likely that you have no experience in investing in property. So that means you cannot expect to hit the jackpot overnight. You're going to have to start from somewhere and then build. And I hope that this video told you all about that, how you need to start from the bottom. Now we're here, okay? And just go hard, put your all in, be honest, have integrity, and just win. Okay, have that winning mindset. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, consider joining the community here where we learn all about property, all about money, and getting that mindset right to succeed. And if you also found that it's quite useful, then comment down below and let me know what particular point you found really good and how you are gonna get started without no money. If this video was really good for you, then it might be good for someone else. So consider sending it, sharing it, and letting other people know about this video too. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in another video. Bye.